Welcome to the Carl B. Phillips Show, hosted by gospel music industry veteran, recording artist, songwriter, producer, radio announcer, and actor, Carl B. Phillips. Join Carl as he talks with gospel recording artists, producers, songwriters, pastors, and other creatives about music, ministry, and life. Get ready for another great conversation on the Carl B. Phillips Show.
This week's guest on the Carl B. Phillips Show, gospel recording artist Brittney Wright-Hall. Welcome to the Carl B. Phillips Show. Today's guest is a gospel recording artist. She's a songwriter, mother, wife, and the host of the vlog Big Bag Snacks. Please help me welcome Brittney Wright-Hall. See, I told you.
Hi, Carl. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I warned you. I was stalking your Instagram page.
You were. That was hilarious. That definitely caught me off guard. That was perfect.
Well, as I stated, I'm going to ask a couple of icebreaker questions. The first one, if you could grow candy on trees, which candy would hang from the tree branches?
Ooh, gummy bears.
Gummy bears. Okay,
Yes.
Why gummy bears?
They're my favorite. If I'm gonna reach for any candy, that's probably what I'll reach for first.
Gummy bears. Okay.
Yes.
You have a favorite flavor or just don't matter?
Has to be the Haribo, that brand, because they're extra like hard. Most people don't like them because they're hard. I don't like soft gummy bears.
So now from the commercials, most people that eat Haribo's, they talk like a child when they're doing it.
Probably. I don't know. Most people wouldn't pick that brand, but I like those. Or what's the other one? The Albanese. Is that the brand in the white and red bag? Those are good. Those get a pass. Those are the only other pass. But gummy bears, they reign supreme.
Okay, a gummy bear tree in the backyard. I think that'll be interesting.
Yes, it would be perfect.
Last year, you married Phillips Hall. I like how on social media, you are the wife of Philip and he is the husband of Brittney.
It's quite possibly the easiest yes I've ever given besides giving my life to Christ.
How has life been for you since getting married?
It's been phenomenal. It's been phenomenal. It's been a change for me in the best possible way.
Mm-hmm.
I have 5 incredibly intelligent, beautiful bonus babies, and I have no idea where my life would be without them or my amazing husband, who is just absolutely everything to me. So I think married life has been amazing. It's a neighborhood I'm glad I'm a member of.
You know, speaking of your bonus family, one of your episodes of your vlog, Big Bag Snacks, you talked about preparing food for a winter day preparing for a winter day with food. Why was it important for you to include your family in the vlog?
Because you can't be snowed in and have snacks and have fun without my family. That's what I'm centered around now. Mm-hmm. All of the good moments in my life, all of the fun times in my life are surrounded by my husband or my husband and my babies. So you can't have fun. You can't have the best meals or the best anything without having my family a part. So it's a joy to have them around.
So what foods do you like making with your family?
Well, each kid kind of has their own thing. Mm-hmm. My oldest girl, she likes smashed potatoes. That's our thing. We make smashed potatoes. The babies, they love cookies. They love to make cookies. They honestly love to make anything that's sweet adjacent. So hot chocolate, cookies, anything like that. I'd say my husband likes anything pizza or Italian derived pizzas, his favorite food. So sometimes we make homemade pizzas from home. So I think we do pretty good there. And my Anna, my Anna, she's good with everything. That's my like go with the flow, baby. She's good with anything.
What are some of the fun things you and your husband have learned about each other since getting married?
Um, my husband is the jokester. My husband is the jokester of the two of us. We love to laugh. We can find anything funny. We love to just create memories out of the simplest of things.
Mm-hmm.
So we can go and have a picnic and have a ball. We can sit in the house and just be all day. That's like our favorite things to do. Just enjoying each other's company and making corny jokes to or about each other is our like favorite thing to do.
So I'm gonna go old school. So y'all sit around capping on each other?
Yes. Yes, camping on each other. Or what do they say here in like the DMV? They say joning here, like joning on each other. It's our favorite thing to do. I feel like you got to have fun in your marriage. You got to be able to laugh with and at each other from time to time. It just makes the time go by faster. We just enjoy every day.
So what's one thing that he does that just makes you laugh or makes you smile?
Um, be silly with our kids. That makes me laugh and makes me smile. He loves being a dad, and anytime that he can be silly with them from the youngest to the oldest, he gets a kick out of it. So I just love to sit and watch them, and I'll just pull my phone out and record them. And sometimes in the moments where he might be having a rough day, I'll shoot that video over, and he's like, "When did you even take this?" So I get joy, I get a kick out of that.
So I know he's sitting next to you, so you don't have to put him on camera. What is the one thing that you do that makes him smile?
I'm gonna say, I'll say when I sing. When I sing, we serve at Zion Church. My husband, he plays as well, and that is a lot of people's favorite thing. They'll record him at church. We have a broadcast campus, and then we have a few other campuses, and they'll catch him sometimes watching the screen if I'm serving at the broadcast campus, and he'll just be, kind of marveling at me sing or worshiping in that moment, and they'll be like, "I just love the way he looks at you. He just smiles when you're worshiping." So I love that. That
You
brings me joy.
it's interesting because a lot of times in musical relationships,
Hmm.
the woman is there supporting the husband, but
Yeah.
it's interesting to get the man's perspective when he's supporting the wife in music
Hmm.
ministry. How do you guys find that balance in ministry where, he can support you, but you can support him?
I think that we built a certain level of trust in our
Mhm.
relationship. We were friends first. And so I learned to trust his musical ear. Both of us are musical kids. I went to an arts high school from 5th to 12th grade. And he's been playing since he was very young. So he studied music. He played piano. He produces. He also, I think, plays the French horn as well, or played the French horn as well.
That's a big instrument.
So yeah, it's huge, right? We really find the beauty in everything that music encompasses. So we can break out in a jazz standard, or we can break out in something that is, a worship song from like Ron Canoli that a lot of people won't know. And it just really helps us to find common ground and really fall in love more and more with not only each other but with the gift of music every single day. Like I think that mutual respect and love for music and everything that it encompasses just helps us find that balance. It just works.
As you look at the future with your husband,
Hmm.
What would you consider to be a fun getaway vacation with just the two of you? Where would you want to go?
Ooh, I, oh man, I would personally love to go to. We took this vacation not too long ago, where we went to a cabin,
Mm,
and it was really good for us because it was a moment where we could both disconnect. You know, a lot of times we're so connected to our phones with work, with church, with other musical things. You're always doing something on your phone. And that particular vacation made us, we didn't really have good signal there. So it made us really disconnect. And I think that was probably the most relaxing vacation we have ever had because we could really just power off fully and enjoy each other's company. So I love that one. I think that was probably my favorite.
I think you bring up an interesting point, and I had this conversation a lot with people that are active in
Mm,
ministry about having church life balance. A lot of
mm,
times, you know, when you're active in ministry,
yeah.
everything is ministry. You know, I
Hmm.
mean, you're preparing for ministry, you're at ministry, you're studying, but I think you bring up a good point about being able to disconnect. How
Yeah.
often do you find that it's important for the two of you just to disconnect and enjoy each other, sit down and watch a movie or go for a walk?
We try to do it very often. Honestly, we try to do it a few times a week, and that is us going for a walk. That's us going to the gym to work out. We use that time to connect as well.
Mm.
There used to be a time when I only would work out. We would work out together, but I needed music. I needed my headphones. And very early on in our relationship, he was like, "Why don't you leave those in the car? Let's talk." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I didn't know that you wanted to. And that created another level of intimacy for us,
Mm.
because you take something that most people see as strenuous, something that they don't want to do, and you really make a date out of even that, doing something to better yourself and better each other. So we do it a few times a week just to make that intentional time. I think is absolutely critical in a relationship, especially we're newlyweds still. So we're still in all the good phases, honeymoon phase, uh, lovey-dovey phase. We're in all of that. So we want to find all the moments wherever we can.
So, in finding those moments, because you talked
Mhm,
about the family, you talked about the
mhm.
relationship. So, how do those moments tie in when it's all of y'all together? What are those moments like?
You know what? Our babies love music. They love music. So um we when we're watching movies, we might watch a musical with them and we're all singing in the car or all singing in the house. They love Hercules. They love Moana, but in the same token, they love Maverick City. They love my music as well. So, a lot of times I think even with our family, music is a humongous dynamic for us to just have a good time and
Mhm.
decompress. And I think music is included in every aspect, even with our youngest babies.
So, I'm going to ask another random question. It kind of ties a little bit
Sure.
with music, but outside of music, what topic could you give a 20-minute presentation on without preparation?
Ooh, makeup.
I was going to say that.
Makeup. Yes, I could. I could. Most people don't know I used to be a MAC girl for a while. So I worked for MAC Cosmetics for a little while. So yeah,
Mac ain't
that
cheap. I found that out from.
it is not. It is not cheap. It is not cheap, but I loved it when I did it, and I could probably do 20 minutes on that. Absolutely.
So that's one of the things I admired when I was reading your bio and I was again looking over your Facebook page, your love for fashion and your love
Yes.
for hair.
Yes. Synonymous. They're like equal. Yes.
So what made you get into makeup, fashion, hair? What made you decide to go down that path?
I've always loved it. I'll be honest, I've always loved it. I think the love for it heightened when I went to my art school. Because when you go on stage, you have to become this character of what you're singing. So that's where I started to fall in love with, oh, we can do makeup. Oh, maybe I want to try, a little longer hair, maybe a little shorter hair, maybe a little red, maybe a little, green, whatever. That's kind of where I fell in love with it, because the whole character of it all was so fun. And then as I got to be an adult and kind of dug into the arts, if you will, I've done more productions. And even in college, our choir director, Dr. Nathan Carter, God rest his soul, he was big on that also. Hey, you can't get on my stage looking like a little boy. You have to get with the upperclassmen, put some makeup on. And I've always seen my mother dolled up with makeup, and it was just like, okay, well, I like the art of making things pretty, so I'm gonna dig into this a little more. And now it's just become a passion. It's just something that I love, and it's here. It's stuck now.
So when you think of yourself as an artist,
Mm-hmm.
how does the fashion, the hair, the makeup play into who you are as a gospel artist?
I think it is one cohesive unit. I think it feels when you look good, you feel good, you
Mm.
sing good. You present your best version of yourself when you look your best. And so I've fallen in love with the art of creating looks based on different eras, and again, the different color hair, long hair, short hair, all of that. I think it really just helps you to have creative freedom. Some people might cook, some people might shop, and I'm not going to say that I don't do a lot of that. But I think making things beautiful, or finding the beauty in things that others might not see as conventionally pretty, is something that I fell into as a kid. And it's just stuck, and I think it just ties so beautifully with the whole artistry portion of things.
When we think of you as an artist, you're also a songwriter, you're a singer. Take us back to the early years when you were finding your voice as a singer and a songwriter.
Oh man, I can remember as a kid. It's actually a funny story. As a kid, the way that our house was set up, we kind of lived on a bend.
Mm.
It's kind of like a curve where our house was, and we didn't have neighbors in the front. It was like a overpass, not an off ramp to the freeway. So it was really just a cement block in front of us, and then my neighbors kind of set our house. They kind of sat behind our house, so they couldn't really see me. So I would stand on the porch, and I just would have concerts. I would just sing for hours, either songs that I knew, or I would just make up songs on the fly.
Mm.
And my neighbor thought it was hilarious, so they would just kind of how that show Whose Line Is It Anyway would do. And they would just yell out random topics, and I would just start making up songs as a kid. And they thought it was the funniest thing. And they would give me money for doing it. And I'm like, oh, $1? I can walk to the corner store. I got more songs. What else you want to hear? Um, and I started doing that as a very little girl, probably as young as like 5 to 7, doing that. And then at my high school, I got really big into creative writing, and I loved it. I read a lot of books, and creative writing I was obsessed with, and I went from that to writing poems and haikus, and then I started journeying into like writing songs. Like before I left high school, I think I wrote my first like song that was a full composition that somebody recorded when I was in college.
Mm.
That was Jessica Green. We went to college together. Jessica Green, another gospel artist out of Baltimore. I wrote her one of her first songs she ever recorded as well. Um, and so that was exciting for me. It just being a silly little kid has turned into a career for me, and I love it.
So you know I'm tempted to throw a word out.
Oh my goodness. I'm not as sharp as I used to be, but I'll come up with something.
Let me see. Let me think of a word.
Uh-oh.
Uh, potato chips.
Potato chips. My favorite kind of chip is Ruffled chips. My favorite kind of chips are crispy chips. Do you want to try some? I'm sure you'd love Ruffled chips. I don't know. I don't know. It just comes.
It's gonna be a hit. It's going viral.
Listen. Get you a bag of blue Ruffles. You're gonna win every time. It goes with every sandwich. I promise.
Speaking of winning, you are the co-writer of "I Win," the title track from one of
Yes.
Marvin Sapp's projects. What was the
Yes.
experience like working with Pastor Marvin Sapp?
It was. I think I'm still kind of stuck on how it even happened. He was so kind. I will say that he was very kind. The story is a very interesting one. He was preaching at a revival, and I got a call at the last minute that the person who was supposed to sing couldn't anymore.
Mhm.
And I was singing that song when he was walking in, and he preached his whole sermon. And once he got to invitation, walked over to me and pointed like, "Who wrote that song?" And I'm like, "I did." And he's like, "I want to record that. You just sang my testimony." And I'm like, "What?"
Wow.
And he reached out to me on Facebook, and I was like, "This has got to be spam. Somebody is spamming me. This is not Pastor Marvin Sapp." And he left me his number, and I called him, and we talked, and the rest is history. He was very kind. I had worked with him a few times at Evangel Cathedral for their Christmas production, and how he was then was how he was when we were working on the song. And he's been the same way ever since. So kind. Killed the song, by the way. Aaron Lindsay produced it, and I'm still honored that they recorded one of my babies. So I'm ecstatic.
You know, you talk about babies,
Yes.
musical babies. Let's go
Yes.
back to the beginning. Your first project,
Okay.
The Beginning, which was
Yes.
released in 2010. What did releasing
Yes.
that project feel like for you?
For me, it was the album that started it all. It was the album that I did Afraid. It was the album that was like, I had served with another ministry for 10, 11 years.
Mhm.
And I didn't know if I could do it on my own, but I knew that God had given me a call and a charge, and I had work that I had to do. And it was like, you're either going to do it or you're going to do it. And I was like, so do I say no to myself or do I say no to God? So we got the beginning done. We got it done, and I'm super proud.
I think you bring up an interesting point in the fact that as artists, that first project is like, am I really going to do this? How
Mm-hmm.
did you battle that fear? How did you overcome that to the point where you got to the point where you were able to say, I really did do this? How did you work through that mentally?
It was tough. It was tough. I was a part of a very popular group at that time. So leaving what was familiar and going on this path that God had for me was very scary. It was incredibly scary, but I trusted the will of the Lord. And I knew that there were some lives that was attached to the gift that God had given me. And if I did not fulfill the promise that God had on my life, there was a responsibility that I would have to hold for that.
Mm.
Um, and so again, I knew I had to do it, and I had to do it afraid. So we recorded all the songs, we finished the songs, and it was like submit. We're going to do this. I'm going to put both feet in and we're just going to go. And I believe that God was pleased, and I'm still very proud of my first album, still incredibly proud.
We talked a little bit about your beginning. Who were some people that influenced you along your way? You know, your songwriting, who are some influences, your singing? Who are some of the people you listen to and like, I want to write like this or I want to sing like them?
Yeah, I'm a PK. Some people know, some people don't. My dad is one of my biggest inspirations. I've been singing since I was 3. So watching my daddy every Sunday was one of the joys. And even when I get to go to Alabama to visit him, I'll still sneak a duet in here or there. You know, he'll call me up to sing and I'll slide him a mic every now and then. I'm a huge Dorinda Clark fan. Huge. I used to watch their videos in my mother's living room, and I would use a vacuum cleaner as my mic because it had a cord. You know what I mean? Everybody else used the remote. I wanted the vacuum. I needed a cord like Dorinda. Ella Fitzgerald is one. Because I studied jazz in high school, so that was my in middle school from 5th grade. So that was my introduction to jazz. I'd say Mary was very huge inspirations to me for like urban gospel and being able to have some music that I can listen to after church. I want to worship on the way. I want to stay with Jesus on the way home, but I kind of want to bob my head a little bit. So their writing style and Warren's production style, I am very inspired by a lot of movies and things like that. So with that being said, a lot of the, musicals and things that you've seen growing up, the Moanas, the Hercules, the Aristocats, or Cinderella, those big musical string arrangements. And it definitely goes without saying, my husband is one of my favorite arrangers for big string arrangements, big production arrangements. And he's inspired me musically and opened my ears to so many things that I've never been able to experience before. So those are a lot of my inspirations.
If you had the opportunity, you mentioned Dorinda, you mentioned Mary.
Mm-hmm.
If you had an opportunity to work with them or any other artists, which artist would you be like, I'm on my way?
Ooh. I think that's probably who it would be. I think if Dorinda called me today, I would probably walk to Detroit. If she called me today, I would say her, or yeah, I'd say Dorinda, or maybe even a Jasmine Sullivan, Samira Joy. Those are just people that I probably would fan out for the majority of the session. I'm an alto girl. I love the raspy. I love the altos don't get a lot of love. The sopranos get all the love.
Right.
Sopranos get all the love. So those are a couple of my favorites. If they called, I'd be there yesterday.
As a writer, who are some of the other artists that you've written for?
Oh, I've written for Crystal Aiken. Again, Pastor Marvin Sapp. I have also written for, I mentioned Jessica Green earlier. Those are a few people that I can think of off the top of my head that I've written for. I know that there's more. I'm just trying to think. But those are some that I've written for and written some songs I'm incredibly proud of.
One of the first songs that I remember knowing about you was last year, Hold On.
Ah, yes.
Give me the history behind Hold On.
Yes. Okay. So my husband My husband and a really good friend of ours, a producer, Trill. They produced. Hold on, I told him I wanted a summer fun song. I wanted something that people could let the windows down and be able to nod their heads to, but have a really good, encouraging message. And so they played the track for me, and I was like, this is it. This is it. And my husband gave me the track, and I'm sitting with it, and I'm like, I want something encouraging. I don't know what to say. And I sat and I'm trying to write it. And then it got to that chorus. And I was like, oh, hold on just a little while longer. And I was like, that's it. Okay, I know where we're going now. And I called a really good friend of mine, called her my sister, Brayla, and she just came in and demolished these very reminiscent to horn vocals in the background. And it, hold on, just came to be. It's one of my favorite songs. My kids love to sing it. I wish they were in the car. I'd make them sing it for you. But it's one of my favorite songs. It's really encouraging. It's fun to sing. Yeah, we had a good time with that one.
Speaking of songs, you have a
Yes.
new one out, Calvary.
Yes.
It's a revisit
Yes.
from your 2017 live recording. Why
It
did you
is.
decide to revisit it?
You know what? It actually is an interlude from my sophomore album, Fight for You. And we recorded it. We made it a full-length song for my live recording from 2017. And my husband and the other producer on that album, Aaron Lewis, unbeknownst to me, had a lot of conversations after that recording. And I had kind of had a respite, if you will, from music. And I just was like, we'll write some new songs. I don't think I want to release that music. And Aaron and my husband were talking like, you cannot not put out all this music. We've got to put out this music. What song do you want to start with? And I'm like, no. And then once they finally like talked me into it, and I'm like, you know what, let's do it. I selected Calvary because number one, is one of my favorite songs from that recording. So much blood, sweat, and tears went into making that song what it is today.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that the message of the song reigns true, not just for the resurrection season. I love the story of Calvary, or the reality of Calvary. Yes, because of the sacrifice, but I think it speaks to such a really visual depiction of the ultimate act of obedience. And so I think that's what made me really connect with this song on such a deeper level. Because yes, you know, God sacrificed his son and he didn't have to. And we look at those things, but it's like God said, or Jesus saying, you know, not my will, God, but yours, is like, that's it. That's the gotcha. That's the, you gotta get it moment for me. And it just, every time I sing it, I'm convicted every time. Like, I can remember what you've done for me. You gave your life back for my liberty, the price that you paid so that I could be saved. You set me free way back on Calvary. It's just a consistent reminder the entire song. We call it Calvary, but you call it loving me. It's just, it just pierces my heart every time. So I'm just, yes, it is one of my favorite songs right now.
From Hold On to Calvary,
yes,
you went from Brittney Wright to Brittney Wright-Hall on Calvary. How
yes.
did that feel when it's like, I was married now, I'm gonna put my married name on here?
You know what? I love it. I love it. You know, being married is really one of my greatest joys, one of my proudest moments. it's taken some getting used to. Only for people to find my name. I think people have a difficulty finding my music because I have, hyphenated my name, in the artist sense. But again, it's the easiest yes that I gave after giving my life to Christ, saying yes to my husband, and everybody's getting with the change. They know us as the Halls now. So Brittney Wright, my daddy will have a fit. Okay, Brittney Wright is not is no longer, she's here, but is Brittney Hall is in the building. So they know us as the Halls. So it's been an easy transition for me. I'll say that.
It was funny because when I was doing the research, I looked up Brittney Hall and I'm like, I can't find Calvary. Brittney Wright. I'm like, I can't find Calvary. So like, okay, breathe and look up Brittney Wright-Hall.
Yes. So I have to try to reiterate that every time. I had to sing a couple Sundays ago, and before I sang, I had to do like a little. Do we have any Brittney Wright fans here? Okay. Any Brittney Hall fans? All right, y'all need to be friends. Look at each other's iTunes, and you're gonna download what they have, and they're gonna download what you have, and we all gonna be a family. We're gonna find everything. So we make a fun little game out of it, but everybody's coming around to the fold. We having a good time.
So what's next for Brittney Wright-Hall?
I am finishing up my album. I am looking to present the stories of the daughter of Abraham. I'm ecstatic about that. Just finishing up this body of music I'm really excited about. Looking forward to growing our family. Looking forward to just being married and enjoying my babies and just growing and traveling and touring and taking the message of Jesus Christ to all the people. That's what I'm looking forward to.
So how can people follow you on social media? How can they contact you? And you've already talked a little bit of how they can get your music.
We talked a little bit how they can get it. You know what? I made it very easy for everybody. It is I am Brittney Wright everywhere. So I am Brittney Wright on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. My website is iambrittneywright.com. I am Brittney Wright on YouTube. You can find me in all of those places. You'll be chatting with me. You're not chatting with the bot or anything. So come on over. I would love to chit chat with you guys. And stay in contact, definitely.
Before we wrap up, you have a lot of experience in life, music. Speak to a female singer songwriter about staying true to themselves.
Absolutely. I think with the world that we live in, that comparison spirit will creep up before you know it. We see it all over social media. You think you're not skinny enough. You think you're not light enough, or your hair is not long enough, or your music is not right for this person, this person, this person, or this person. But God has given us each unique gifts. And if I could say anything to any of the younger artists, singers, songwriters coming up, is to stay true to the call of God on your life. Fast, pray, ask him for direction, ask him for insight, ask him for answers. I truly believe in that. And I believe in staying true to who you are. You don't have to change for anybody. If you want to be skinny, be skinny. If you want to sing urban music, sing urban music. If you want to sing quartet, sing quartet. If you want to sing bluegrass, sing bluegrass. But whatever is authentic to whoever you are and the call that God has given you, do that thing and do it with the boldness and the confidence of God, because he who has begun a good work in you will continue that thing until the day of Jesus Christ. So hold fast to it, be confident in who he called you to be, and fulfill the promise and the work of the Lord.
You may need your husband to come back and play some bump music after that. I have enjoyed this conversation. We are
Me
talking with
too.
Brittney Wright-Hall. Make sure you go to Brittney Wright-Hall and download Calvary, and then go back to
Yes.
Brittney Wright and get all of her other music. I like to
Yes.
close like I always do, just by reminding people to remember to work like you don't need the money, love like you never been hurt, and dance like no one's watching you, and be true to yourself. God bless
I
till we have an
love that.
opportunity to meet again. Take care.
The Carl B. Phillips Show is produced by Carl B. Phillips for Prove Me Productions. For more information about Carl B. Phillips, visit carlbphillips.com. Subscribe to The Carl B. Phillips Show on YouTube or your favorite podcast outlet.